I'm too old for all that shit. Running in hot weather is not easy, and in this video I'll be sharing with you 5 top tips on how to help us all manage running in this heat. And at times it can be quite extreme, and to make it more enjoyable for us so we can still enjoy our running, get out there, have a good time. And also be sure to stick to the very end, where I'll have a bonus hack as well, where I'll share with you. Might be a controversial one, but it's one that I really want to share with you. Without further ado, let's get on this walk and talk. Yes, literally a warm welcome. We're in the 20 degrees here in Worcester along the beautiful River Severn, and I thought I'd share this video right here, right now. Whilst I've probably done this before and there are other videos in the past, the YouTube algorithm doesn't want to know. So I thought I'd share one again, and hopefully with your help you can share this video amongst people that you do know, and also that they can appreciate and understand that running in heat, we do need to take some tips, precautions on what we need to do. Yeah, makes sense? Before I go into these top tips, hacks, whatever you want to call it, some people might say it's a bit of common sense, but we live in a world where there's nothing more uncommon than common sense. So that's what I'm going to be sharing. But today is Monday, beginning of the new week. Last week was that epic long walk, yeah, and I've got to give a big shout out, thank you to all of those who, yes, as you can see, I'm still walking. I did finish it, and if you've followed me on the Strava, you'll see the stats there. And yeah, it was a long, painful walk in heat. Right now we've got a bit of clouds and stuff, but it was a pretty hot day last week. And but for me, I've been out recovering, walking, not done any running since then. And in fact, what sparked me to do this video, this is an extra, shall we say. If you are new here, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that alarm bell, as we all know. Yes, that's the drill. That's the drill. When I was out yesterday on the walk, Sunday morning, I couldn't help but notice there was a lot of people struggling, and I mean really struggling in the heat, and it's understandable. But there was a few things that they were doing which, you know, it's not for me to stop and preach. People need to learn themselves from those, and hopefully these tips will help out with those. So without further ado, let's go into these 5 top tips. Number 1, sun cream. Yes, I've got it all over me right now, because right now it is lunchtime here in Worcester, so I've covered myself in factor 50, no less than factor 50. Now I do appreciate, depending on how long your run is, if you're just out for 15-20 minutes, you could probably get away with it and not put any cream on. But if you're 100% doing anything longer than that, and 100% if you're doing races, marathons, ultras, cover yourself in cream. When I done my 70.3, I was creaming myself at every transition point, T1 and T2. It was that hot. It was in the 30s, blue skies, cooking. I didn't want to burn either on the bike, and I kept the sun cream in my on the bike, on my back, just to so I could reapply as I was going through on the bike. So I'm not saying you need to keep the cream with you, but if you have got sensitive skin, then maybe that's something you need to consider. And whilst out in a race, because I see so many people coming out red, raw, that's not good, not good at all. So for me, number 1 is sun cream, factor 50. Tip number 2, whilst I don't have one on right now because I'm only out for a very short while, is a hat, a sun hat or a visor. And the kind of hat or visor, for me, I often go for the visor, depending on how hot it may be or not so hot. And also the hat comes in depending on what kind of race I'm doing, and for obvious reasons, keeping the sun off your head. And again, it's down to how long you think you're going to be out for, because having a hat can actually make you more sweaty and doesn't have the benefits and can counteract it. Yeah, I see a lot of people out with their hats, and you know, there's not really that much sunshine or anything out, and they're sweating more because the heat goes out of the head. So you want a hat that has a lot of mesh air breathing. But also one of the tips that I found, particular when you're racing, is to have a hat where you can soak water in it and then put it back on your head so it's wet and it's cold and it's cooling your head down. That's what I was doing during my 70.3, because I was out for nearly 6 hours. So the half marathon at the end, I wanted a hat that I could sort of bathe in the water, put it back on my head and keep me cool. Helped me finish. And yeah, it was a great race. So a hat or visor, I tend to go with visor when it's certain temperatures, just to keep the sun off my eyes, because again, my personal preference is sometimes I may not use I nearly said what number 3 was, so I'll have the visor on instead. Yeah, now you want to know what number 3 is. Yeah, number 3, yes. Did I give it away? I nearly said sunglasses. Yes, sunglasses. And again, it's all about personal preferences. As I just mentioned, when I've got the visor on for races, sometimes I don't go with sunglasses. It's not bright enough or there's no reflection. It's just a personal preference, but it can help with reducing the glare. I mean, right now, funnily enough, the clouds have appeared. So I wouldn't really need sunglasses for me personally, but I've got them on, so I'll keep them on. I look cool as well. But again, use what works for you and find glasses if you're going out running. Some of them bounce, so you need glasses that are specifically made for running, yeah, and fits the head firmly. These glasses work fine, although they are a cheap plastic pair that I got free, so that's why often I just go with visor. So the sunglasses I have tend to bounce a lot on my face, so I prefer just going with the visor to keep the sun out of my eyes. That's just my personal preference, but again, find what works for you. Number 4, this can often be the most controversial, causes the most controversy. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, not just for number 4 I'm going to talk about, but for the other tips as well, and if you have any tips yourself. But number 4 can cause the most controversy, and that is taking water with you on a run. A lot of people I saw yesterday were all out with water on the run. Now, I do appreciate that for some people, for medical reasons, need to be constantly taking on water at certain points, and I appreciate that. Yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, depending on how long you're going for most of us, not everybody, don't need to take any water. We don't need to hydrate, and as long as you weren't out on the razzle dazzle the night before, as in alcohol, and you're totally dehydrated, well, technically you shouldn't really be going for a run anyway if you are drunk. Yeah, but that's another controversial point, isn't it? Because many a time I've heard people say, oh, it's the best time to go for a run. Yep, whatevs. So my guess is yesterday, Sunday, a lot of people are struggling, and they looked very red, very sweaty, very panty, and yeah, maybe they were out on the lemon popsicle on the Saturday night, but and running in the heat is not a good idea. So water, take it if you think you need it. And I would also say sometimes, whilst medically and scientifically most of us don't need it, it does make us feel good, doesn't it? Yes, if you've got a bit of water and you feel a bit parched, have a little drink, wash it in your mouth, drink it, it feels good. So if it helps you feel good, great, go with it, go with the flow. As with the other points, do what works for you. Point number 5, this often causes the most controversy. I said stick around to the very end, so well done on getting to the very end, but this can cause the most controversy of all, apart from the bonus one I'm going to give at the very end, number 6. But this one is slow down. Yeah, slow down. When we're training to effort, and I've said this many times on my videos, that training to pace really, as I got flies coming all over me now, training to pace, unless you're on a flat road like this, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, if you're on hills, it's all about effort. So, and as it gets hotter, our effort takes more to maintain a certain pace. So if we're supposed to be training in zone 2s, which a lot of people talk about, then when it gets hotter, you need to run slower to stay in zone 2. If you run at the same pace as you did in the winter, you'll probably slip into zone 3, zone 4, and then that training then becomes ineffective. So basically the message is slow down. And for some people it might mean doing what I'm doing right now, walking. Yes, so we sometimes have to park our egos and slow down. Got it? Let me hear from you in the comments below. Now, the bonus hack, common sense thing that I've got to say here is, you may have heard the phrase, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun. Yes, I'm an Englishman and it's midday, so I'm mad. Yes, but I'm only out, this whole video I'm out for about 20 minutes, if that. Yeah, so it's the only time in the day also that I can do the recording. But if you want to enjoy your running more, get out early. The earlier the better. And again, I appreciate there's people out there in terms of your work and family and schedules and all that, that it's the only time of day that you can go, maybe around this time of day. I have seen some runners out. I did see David from Parkrun, who's out, and he says it's the only time you can go, non-working day and midday and so on. But do what works for you and look at the schedule. For me, through the summer, sunrise is about 4:30 or whatever. I'm often up and out, and my runs would start before 5 a.m. You might have heard of the 5 a.m. club. That was me, and I'd often be in my office by 6:30, 6:15, 6:30 a.m. ready to go. But that was my work schedule. Maybe that won't work for you, but early, it's just my tip, hack. Whether you want to do that or not is entirely up to you, but the earlier it is in the day, the cooler it is in the day, and we can enjoy it a lot more. And also for me, I tend to find if my run, especially a long run on a Sunday, if I'm done and dusted by 8 a.m, that leaves the whole day for me, your friends, family, and enjoy the day even more. Make sense? For me, the 5 tips plus 1 extra hack for you all in terms of running in hot weather, enjoying the running more as the weather gets hotter. So I've got further videos coming out. As I'm sure you'll be aware, I did do the 3 walks in Malvern as part of the Malvern West Festival, and also the epic long walk, Birmingham to Worcester along the canal. 55 kilometers I completed that day last week, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing that with you, all for Prevent Breast Cancer. So without further ado, I'll see you all at the next video, and thanks again for all the love and support that you all give each and every video. See you all soon. Tatty bye. Good morning everybody. Yes, bonus reel. We weren't expecting this. I wasn't expecting this either. Just to show to you that I always practice what I preach. I'm out here on my early morning run, remember? Get out early. Although this morning, the time that I got to roll out of bed, it was already 16 Celsius, and right now it's coming up to 17, 18. But as you can see, I've got my sunglasses on, very conversational, so I'm going super slow. And just to ensure I do stay slow, my Garmin is set to heart rate, and I can see already it's creeping up despite me going super slow. Yes, so I need to monitor that. Got my sunglasses on. I've also brought an extra sweatband if I get a bit too sweaty. No water, yeah, the other hand is holding the camera, so no water, and no sun cream, because for me, I'm only going out on a short jiggy jog, and most of it is in the shade like this, so I don't need sun cream for this particular run. Obviously, take into account where you are running if you need some. Yeah, so that's what I have to say in terms of keeping it real. The key thing for me is monitoring the heart rate, because yes, the heart does work super hard in this heat, which means we need to really slow down, go super slow. But what a beautiful day, jogging along the marina here in Worcester. I hope you're having a great day too. Enjoy, and see you all soon. Oh, and as an extra, this is extra, this is my first run since that long walk last Thursday. Today is Tuesday, and I wouldn't say I picked up an injury, but yeah, some people might make a drama out of it. But I was in a lot of pain the last sort of 20k, and I was determined to finish. And my left foot, yes, remember that movie, My Left Foot? Anyway, my left foot had swollen up and got quite bruised. I am seeing a physio today, but that was already booked. So we'll see if there's any underlying issue. But a number of people said it was probably the shoe was on too tight, so it bruised my foot and made it swell up quite a lot. So I'm adopting the easy, and if at any point I feel pain during this run, I will stop and I will walk. I have no pride or ego holding me up where I gotta push through the pain, no gain, and all that nonsense. Nah, I don't do that. I'm too old for all that shit. Don't know about you. Leave it in the comments below. See you soon.